We have a plethora, a cornucopia, a lot of winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories up from Missouri to Maine, folks. This may not be bringing any snow to coastal areas, but inland areas it is, and certainly in places up to the west. We're going to get into all of this and take a look at what's going to be a very cold shot of air coming toward the end of the week. So let's get started tonight, the 1st of December. Welcome to meteorological winter. Say goodbye to the hurricane season and the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. You can support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast if you'd like. You can do it by shopping our referral link on Amazon. That is on the descriptor to this podcast, especially because it's Cyber. Well, right now it's Cyber Monday, and it's really Cyber Week. Just use that link to get you to Amazon so that Amazon tosses us back a little bit of coin for sending you there. And it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you one dime extra out of your own pocket. And we appreciate it very much, those of you who have done your shopping on Amazon. And Tempest by Weatherflow. Still plenty of time to get something for that weather geek in your life, or maybe you are the weather geek in your life. It's the revolutionary Tempest weather system. You join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. It's easy to install, runs off your mobile device. You can it runs on solar power, so you don't have to worry about batteries or anything like that, or wiring it. And they have a display panel if you want to put up a display in your office or in your kitchen or in your living room, whatever. The link for this tonight is pinned to the top of the chat board and on the description to this podcast. Use that coupon code Joe Rayo.
That's autumn 2025, Joe Cioffi, and you will get 10% off anything that you purchase from our dear friends over at Tempest.
I got it. I think I'm going to change it after this week is done. We'll have a new coupon code next Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, I mean, we're getting winter-like weather, and it's meteorological winter, so we might as well go with the flow. Okay. A lot going on. We could say right off the bat for the coastal areas, it's all rain, unless there's 4 or 5 wet snowflakes at the start. And inland areas, I mean, it looks like we've even pushed the accumulating snow line up a little bit further north and northwest. The system in the south is outrunning the northern feature, and as a result, warmer air is coming into the coastal plain, and that has pretty much screwed the big cities out of big snows. Or you might be happy that the big cities aren't getting big snows. But inland areas will for an early December snowfall, this is actually not too shabby.
It's going to be a big snowfall for places that are, let's say, up across upstate New York, central and northern New England. Some of you will come away with this with maybe upwards to a foot or more of snow. But as Joe just mentioned, for those of you who are in the big cities, from Baltimore and Washington, north and east to Philadelphia, to New York, to Boston, so sorry, it does not look like it's going to be your storm. There's still going to be plenty of time because meteorological winter, as Joe mentioned, began today.
That it did. And pattern going forward actually looks pretty cold more often than not. And there's a Arctic front that's coming on Thursday. After that goes by, it's going to get very cold Thursday night and Friday morning, and then again Friday night into Saturday morning.
No question, we're looking at by far and away. I know we've had some shots of cold air so far this fall season, but by far and away, what we're looking at for this upcoming Thursday night and Friday will be the coldest we've seen yet. Some of you will wake up on Friday morning to temperatures in the teens, maybe even down close to 10 degrees above zero. And meantime, temperatures on Friday probably not getting out of the 20s.
I agree with that, but most areas aren't going to get out of the 20s. There might even be some dingle sigits Friday morning in some of the coldest spots.
It might very well happen. It might very well be.
All right. All right, we're going to get
I was
rolling
just
here.
questioning off
Oh,
air before we began the show. I was asking your opinion about whether or not, with the frontal passage, the Arctic front coming through during Thursday, whether or not there might be a snow shower or maybe even a snow squall for some. That's that potent a system that'll be moving through here during the early part of Thursday.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly not impossible that could happen. That might be for some people, it's going to be maybe the only snow they see all week. But um, definitely plenty of cold air, and there's a lot of shots of cold air in the long range too. I mean, we're in we're in a cold scheme now. Whether any of this times out with storm systems remains to be seen. I'm sure we'll see models from time to time. Um, do their usual shenanigans of blowing up something, and then we have to sit back and watch it slowly demise into either something far less or something wetter, but we'll see how it goes. Welcome tonight to everybody on the chat board. Welcome to those of you who are in the background watching tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. We're here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. No schedule changes are in the offing for this week. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. Because if we have changes, you'll find out that there's a show maybe on a Friday or a Saturday. Just probably not this week. And of course, if you like the show, hit the like button. And we solved the bell issue last night after the show. But we'll give it a test, Joe. Give it a test. There you go. The bell is working.
The bell is working, yes.
It is. So we'll go from there. So you and I both, you and I both put out final calls. And would you like to go first, or should I go first?
Why don't you go first tonight?
All right. So what I basically did was, in recognizing the fact that warmer air is coming in a little faster along the coast, I kind of pushed everything up a bit. The black line is the trace line, which yesterday I kind of cut it across Long Island into New York City. So I moved it maybe about another 20 or 25 miles further north and pushed it inland into Westchester County, coastal Connecticut, southeastern Massachusetts, and southern Rhode Island is all rain. Long Island is all rain. Much of New Jersey is all rain, down Delaware, and into Maryland, as I like to call it. And I put a 2-inch line cutting across halfway, say from northern Hunterdon County northward to maybe northwest or into Passaic County, and then into Putnam County, through Connecticut, just basically Route 84 points north. That's where your big snows are. Northeastern Pennsylvania, Scranton, Allentown's in a 2 to 4 inch zone. There's a little knob there that goes down just northeast of Harrisburg of 2 inches as you get down to the Maryland state line, well north and west of Baltimore, and 6 inches plus for some areas in east central New York or central east New York. I don't know how you want to put that. Let's say northern Dutchess into Columbia County, and then crossing into northwestern Connecticut and through Massachusetts. So a little bit less bullish from yesterday, and I'm pretty sure, Mr. Rayo, with the share button is turned on, you are going to show a map that is rather similar.
Well, I will. And if you remember last night, when we were also with our friend Angry Ben, who had a great time with him and an interview with him. But I mentioned last night that the one model that was really warmer than all the others was the North American model, the NAM model, and that particular model was indicating that the snow amounts would be considerably less. But the global models were pushing the storm track further to the south and keeping us in a colder air mass and thus a snowier type of situation. But today, when I had a chance to look at all the model runs, I I had to tip my cap to the NAM because even the vaunted European, is now taking the warmer temperatures further north, the storm system tracking further north. And so as a result, just like you, Joe, I altered the forecast by actually lowering accumulations across the region. And I lowered them a little bit more than you did. I've got mainly rain across Long Island and even down across extreme southern sections of Westchester. I mean,
Oh,
you
I have
folks
that
are
too.
watching.
I have
I
that
mean,
too.
yeah, I understand. What I'm saying here is that that for those folks who are watching in Yonkers or Mount Vernon or New Rochelle or Rye, you're going to see maybe a few snowflakes or sleet pellets at the very beginning, and then boom, you're right into rain, and then it's just going to be a matter of timing. How long is it going to take for the rain snow line to progress northward? It is going to progress northward across the lower Hudson Valley. And what I have here is for much of Westchester and also for Rockland, just a slush coating to maybe an inch. And then as you go into lower sections of Orange County and across much of Putnam County, which includes my area, 1 to 2 inches. Now you have 2 to 4 for my area, Joe. So I've got 1 to 2, you've got two to
All right, so
four.
maybe I'm a little higher there. I mean, I could have drawn the line a little further
I mean,
north.
if I end up with like 2 to 3 inches, who wins?
Well,
It's
yeah, I
basically
mean,
the same.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's not like
basically
it's going to be
that's
it's not like it's going to be a foot and we're both going to be wrong.
no, it's not. And in fact, it's going to be a slushy. Now, the question here also, since much of this is going to be during the daylight hours, how much of that is going to fall and accumulate on paved surfaces as opposed to, let's say, grass or the tops of cars or trees or whatever? So it may be a slushy type of snow. I have the snow blower in ready just in case. But I told Renata before we came on this evening, I said, you know what? It may very well be we're not even going to use the darn thing tomorrow because even if we do get an inch or two of slush, then it changes over to rain, and then the rain probably comes down at its heaviest between about 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 in the afternoon tomorrow, and that could wash away much of whatever has accumulated on whatever paved surfaces. So it's going to be a kind of a slushy, mushy, messy kind of day tomorrow. But again, an inch or two for southern Orange County, much of Putnam County, then 2 to 4 inches I've got up into lower Dutchess County and northern sections of Orange County. In fact, it may even be a bit higher than that because parts of northern Orange County and especially into Dutchess, you've got elevations above 1,000 feet. So it could be a little bit more than 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 5 inches. If you really want to see snow, 4 to 6 across portions of Sullivan and Ulster County and on up into northern Dutchess. And if you really want, a significant fall of snow, let's say a half a foot or more, you're going to have to get on 87 and head up toward, let's say, Kingston or maybe up toward Albany. Up there, they may get a significant amount of snow. But again, further south, more rain. And for New York City and Long Island, aside from, again, the cheap thrill of maybe seeing a few snowflakes at the very beginning or a few pellets of sleet, it looks like it's going to be chiefly a rain event.
All right, we'll take a look at the snowfall accumulation map for some other regions here as we take a look. I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger, and there you go. We are seeing. All right, how did that box get there? Oh, good God! All right, let me try this again. I try to do something. Let me cross that box out. That wasn't.
You try to do
There you
something and what
go.
happened? Yeah,
And this
yeah.
box comes up. I don't want that box. All right, so here we are. Oh, all right. You know what? Just deal with it, folks. It's up there. It's the snowfall total, total new snow, and the snow amounts. You can see in New England, it's obviously going to be a solid snowfall of 6 to 8, 6 to 9. Higher elevations will probably get a foot. Same for parts of upstate New York. Some areas are going to have a little lake effect to get in the mix too after the winds shift around. So we're seeing areas of 10, 11 inches in southwest New York and also in north central New York. cuts off considerably as you head to the southeast. What's really interesting to me is that this is actually for a lot of places in the Midwest and in the upper Ohio Valley, this is the third snowfall that they've had in less than a week, and included Chicago, which got hit hard this weekend. And then they had a follow up, and now they've got another follow up. But this is producing generally 3 or 4 inches and even a few 5 inch amounts totals from Missouri. It's already mostly done in Kansas, but in Missouri, into Illinois, Indianapolis. I was looking there earlier. They were getting inch an hour snows there. So a fairly large area of snow here, and then up in Michigan as well, especially along the lakefront of Lake Michigan, Grand Rapids at 7 inches being forecast, and some 8 to 12 inch areas on the that western coast of the state of Michigan. A lot of snow cover. Something we haven't seen, Joe, in quite a while. A lot of snow cover for early December in this entire region here around the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the Middle Mississippi Valley, and now into the north. Add the Northeast to that. So that's going to be a factor going forward, especially when we get into that cold air that's coming later Thursday and for Thursday night, Friday, and into Friday night, early Saturday.
I agree with you. The one thing that you need, and of course that also loans itself to situations like, for example, cold air damming, when you have high pressure nosing down, let's say from eastern Canada and through New England, and you have a storm approaching from the south and west. When you have good cold air in place, it's very hard to scour that cold air out or to push it out, and so as a result, you end up with snow or sleet or ice. So we're going to build on that, obviously, with this snow cover already out across portions of the Midwest and soon over the Northeast. And again, the cold air that's going to really be blowing in here behind that Arctic front during Thursday and Thursday night.
This is Wednesday morning's forecast lows. Now, most of what happens during the day tomorrow should be winding down in the late afternoon and early evening hours, and in some places it might be rain, but temperatures are going to be falling into the 20s, and in some cases the lower 20s by the time we get to Friday morning. So there might be some slick spots developing Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with the colder air that's behind the first low. And then we get this little Arctic front that comes by, and look at these numbers on the digital forecast for Friday morning. We're looking at temperatures in the teens, even down to New York City, Philadelphia, a low of 20 there, single digits in parts of Northeast PA, Northwest New Jersey, in the Hudson Valley from 84 north, even a goose egg, I guess that's near Hunter Mountain there. But this is very, very cold air, and it's going to get down. These colder temperatures are going to make it down fairly far to the south. Not to me. I should be above. I'm going fishing Thursday morning. I don't want to have a repeat of last year where I woke up to had to go out there on a boat at 40 miles an hour with a temperature of 17. That was an absolutely brutal experience. But these cold temperatures go all the way down into southern Virginia, where you see temperatures dropping down into the middle 20s and a lot of single digits back through Pennsylvania, western New York into Ohio, even some numbers near zero and even below zero. In and around Chicago and Indianapolis, a low of 9, but northern Indiana in the 0 to 5 range. So again, a very, very impressive cold shot indeed. Now we've got a slew of advisories from Missouri, Illinois, just about the whole state of Illinois, all of Indiana, all of Ohio, just about all of Pennsylvania except the southeast, western Virginia, West Virginia, much of Kentucky except the southeast and south central, northwest Tennessee, and into Arkansas. It's been snowing in a lot of these areas today, and they're seeing the precipitation just sort of blossom out. Winter storm warnings for the Catskills, and then on up north to the counties that border Massachusetts and Vermont, central and southern Vermont, much of Massachusetts except the east. Most of New Hampshire, advisories in the northernmost counties and the southern half of Maine. all under winter storm warnings. We also have, by the way, just to mention, we do have winter weather advisories in various counties in Montana. So cold air, snow, the way the upper air is set up and what's going on at the surface, the cold air is kind of wedged in east northeast, west southwest fashion. That southern system sort of outrunning the northern feature. Uh, Many of the models were trying to show that northern feature coming, ahead of the southern feature back a few days ago, which is why you saw those bigger snow amounts. But the opposite wound up happening, and as a result, you're getting this warming that's occurring just in the coastal plain. It's not advancing up further north than that. And the satellite shows the same thing. I mean, you see all this moisture coming into Mississippi and Alabama. You can see the snow breaking out in the brighter white cloud tops across eastern Missouri into Illinois and Indiana and over into southern Michigan. Pretty quiet in the northeast and mid-Atlantic states, but we're probably going to start seeing some clouds increasing as we go through the overnight period. And then again, the moisture will head up northward. We'll get into, I don't know, I was thinking between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. for precip arrival.
For when?
For tomorrow?
For tomorrow? I said for the Hudson Valley. I actually said for the Hudson Valley 8 to 10 a.m.
You have it a little
from
later.
From west to east. So
Okay. Yeah, I mean, four to, I was thinking maybe about 4 to 6 a.m. for eastern Pennsylvania and maybe 6 to 7 a.m., 8 a.m. for everybody else. That'll be key for some areas. If it delays the starting up, but then the warmer air is going to be a problem in keeping it frozen precipitation. Can you do the radars too? Because the radars are actually rather busy. And you can take a look here. This is all snow in Illinois, in Indiana, and now into Ohio. And it's rain, of course, as you go further south into Tennessee, and even a rumble or two of thunder probably in some places along the Gulf Coast. But Mr. Rea will take us to maybe on a few local radars, and I'll pull up some observations in Ohio and Indiana and Illinois and see what's going on.
all right, hang on for just a moment, and we
Okay.
will be there. We will go boom, boom, radar wrap, and so let's start off with Chicago or
All right.
Romeoville.
And in Chicago right now, I'm going to check is let's see, what are they doing in Chicago? Where there's a winter weather advisory in effect. 26 degrees, Joe, 2 miles in light snow with a south wind at 9. Of course, in Chicago, it can snow with a south wind. Uh,
Yeah,
1 to 2 inches overnight. Now they've been snowing during the day. I don't know how much they have on the ground, but they're forecasting an additional 1 to 2 inches for the overnight period.
it looks like, Joe, central sections of Illinois are seeing a bit more in the way of snowfall. So why don't we go down to Lincoln, Illinois, and you can see that the areas of blue and especially green indicating maybe a more of a moderate type of snowfall there. And again, it's moving on a pretty good pace from west southwest to east northeast. And again, while Chicago is seemingly on the edge of light snow, I would suspect that in central sections of Illinois, they're seeing a bit more in the way of snow merely because they're getting more intensity, so to speak.
I have some snow amounts here. Peoria, as of 7 o'clock, has an inch and a half. Um, that's
Peoria's
one
up
month.
here,
Yeah.
right
Okay.
there.
Lincoln, Illinois has 2. But no, Northwest Lincoln, Illinois has 3. Um, Southwest Macomb, Illinois, 2.6. I'm trying to see if there's any of these that I, actually know where they are. But it's like an inch and a half to 2.5 inches has fallen so far. Some of these observations were taken about an hour ago. There's probably a little bit more than what's being indicated.
Yes, absolutely. And you can see how the pattern is more intense down in central sections of Illinois as opposed to northern Illinois and Chicago, for example. Going to go over to Indianapolis, and Indianapolis doesn't seem to be doing too badly in terms of snow either. They've got some light to moderate snow crossing through their neck of the woods.
And they're forecasting 3 to 5 inches for Indianapolis, the Weather Service. Right now it's 28 there, with the visibility of 2.5 miles in light snow. The wind is east at 8 miles per hour in Indianapolis. And when I looked at it earlier this afternoon, they were actually at moderate snow, so they might have a bit more. Let me see if I can get some snow amounts in Indiana. Local snowfall reports. Uh, mm, no, I don't see any reports here yet from Indiana. Okay,
Okay, all right.
I'm trying.
Okay, no problem. Um, this is Wilmington, Ohio. I'm wondering why isn't there a radar site in Covington, which is near just outside of Cincinnati? I can't seem to find one, but this is Wilmington, Ohio. And notice, if you will, how the snows are apparently arcing to the north and east. In other words, if you're down here across lower sections of Ohio or even into northern and northeastern Kentucky, Mrs. Hutch, for example, she's in that zone. There's not much in the way of snow that's occurring, but if you're up and across central and north central Ohio, look how the moderate snowfall is just literally funneling up in your direction. So that's where the snows are falling right now. If you're in Ohio, is up in the north part of the state.
Okay. Why don't we check out some of the rain that's in Alabama and in Mississippi?
And let's go down there. Let's go to well, we can go to this is Jackson, Mississippi, and you can see that they do indeed have showery rains, especially down right near the Gulf Coast. You can see some flashes of red here. So I wouldn't even be surprised if there's a little bit of convection going on down in this area of Mississippi. But most of Mississippi right now is in the rain, showery rains, moderate rainfall moving across the region. And if we want to check out next door in Alabama, we can go to Alabaster or Birmingham, Alabama, and you could see that the northern and southern end of the state is getting hit with some showery rains. The right in the middle where Birmingham is, they're not getting much of anything. They're kind of in a hole, so to speak. But to the north, there's the rain, moderate rain, and to the south, moderate to maybe even some flashes of heavy rain down closer to the Gulf Coast. So they're getting wet in places too. And if we want to go up to where Mr. Joe is, this is Atlanta, Peachtree City. Atlanta itself not seeing much of anything, but Joe, there's a wide swath of rain that looks like is bearing down on you and is just about ready to hit you if it's not already.
Uh, Let me go take a look. I don't hear anything on the roof.
And Joe actually is up here in this particular area, so he may have some light precipitation, but notice here this area of moderate to maybe even heavy precip now working its
Indeed,
way
it is.
across.
My deck is a little bit wet.
Yeah, I think the heaviest is still a little ways away from you, Joe. I think you'll be getting that in the next hour or so. But there is some spotty light rain in your vicinity right now. So, and more
Yes.
rain down here. This is the stuff we picked up from Birmingham, uh, down across southern sections of Georgia, moving into southern sections of Georgia. Some moderate to maybe even a little heavy rainfall that's occurring right now.
All right. I think that pretty well covers it. And should mention too that the folks at the Storm Prediction Center have a very small area of marginal risk in southernmost Alabama and in the western part of the Florida Panhandle, and there's a 2% tornado risk in that area. So there might be a twister that spins up. And tomorrow, it's a little further east in the Panhandle and into northern Florida. We have a marginal risk, and also here too, a 2% risk. half to 3/4 inch liquid amounts. You can see the half-inch line gets cuts off at somewhere near I-81. So west of there, it's only 1/4 of an inch, which accounts for lower snowfall amounts. But there's also, you have to start dealing with upslope with an east wind there, so that probably will enhance some snow to some degree. And a little bit of heavier precip in southeastern New England, rain. The coast, about 3/4 of an inch or so of rain. Then you get down in the southeast and down the Gulf states, we're looking at anywhere from 1.5 inches to some areas of 3 or 4 inches along the shores of Mississippi, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and southeast Louisiana. Now, there's a couple of systems here put together, as it's not just one system. Um, the rest of it's in the northern Rockies and also some ample precip up in the Pacific Northwest, western Oregon, western Washington, and in southwestern Canada. So I'm going to just do a couple of things here. I just want to show the upper air because I think this really kind of tells the tale here. We've got a wrapped up vortex there in northern Hudson Bay. You got a trough that goes all the way down into Texas. But again, that northern feature needed to kind of run a little bit more ahead to get that colder air wedged in on the coast, and that didn't quite happen. So this trough lifts out, but the upper vortex there in Hudson Bay starts to rotate around, and another stronger short wave swings through the Great Lakes Wednesday night and into the Northeast on Thursday. Yeah, I would put in, it's probably okay to put in to mention that there might be perhaps a snow shower. Who knows? Might even be a little snow squall when it goes by. But look at the flow here. I mean, you're talking about cross-polar flow, very well established on Thursday, coming down from the Arctic regions through Canada and into the eastern part of the United States. This is a very, very cold upper air setup. But we also have higher than normal pressures over Greenland. That's been a signature there for a while, so it's kind of holding that vortex in place. It lifts out, and then another trough for the weekend. It's a broader trough than this one is, and I think that's why we've seen the models kind of lose this system that they had for Saturday. It's still there, but it's just more suppressed because it's kind of like a bowl shape rather than having something a bit sharper. But still troughing in the east going into next week, and on it goes. In fact, the blockiness, the higher pressures in Greenland kind of nose into Hudson Bay, and that just sort of keeps these upper lows trapped in southeastern Labrador, and another vortex in James Bay that comes whipping around and diving a trough rather deeply here along about the weekend of the 12th and 13th. It's got a pretty vigorous upper low that cuts off in southern Pennsylvania and into Virginia, if you want to believe it. But a very active pattern. Shots of cold air coming in. And I guess a lot of this is going to depend on timing. And then when we go to the end of the forecast period, I mean, this just to me says that we're going to stay cold for a while. The other thing I would note is the polar vortex in the stratosphere is continuing to just be, stretched out, drops back down, way down over to Greenland, and then, kind of sits there toward the end of the forecast period. I don't have all the hours in, and that's why it kind of looked a little jumpy. But this is stretched out, and the flow that comes from the northwest, from the Arctic region down into the Great Lakes and Northeast. I mean, this certainly suggests that we're going to have this pattern holding into mid-month in general. Might be there be the day in between weather fronts where you warm up a little bit, sure, but at least through the middle part of this month, we are going to be on the cold side. So that's to me is pretty interesting. We've been watching this for the better part of a month now to see what that part of the atmosphere is doing. And to at least the latest run of the GFS confirms that idea. Here's the system for Saturday is a lot weaker. But let's go to the first one. And here you see what happens with this low that goes off of near Wilmington tomorrow morning. You start to see the snow spread up through Pennsylvania and New York State. And by the way, once again, this is one of those instances where when it starts snowing up in like Glens Falls, Albany, all those places up in northern New York before it starts along the coast, that sort of tells you that there's a problem with respect to snow for coastal areas. And
Right.
and indeed that is the case. The snow gets wrapped up. The GFS wants to actually change it back to snow Tuesday afternoon in northern New Jersey and in the Hudson Valley, going into Tuesday evening. It's got a really wrapped up surface low, and it kind of suggests that maybe some cold air comes in at the very end, where you briefly change over to snow before it ends. And of course, it turns colder, as we said, going into Wednesday. The weather around the rest of the country kind of quiets down. The rain gets out of the southeast. Wednesday's dry. Here comes the Arctic front for Thursday. Comes through later in the day. Maybe we get a snow squall, maybe we don't. And then it just gets cold. As it gets very cold Thursday night into Friday morning with a screaming north wind. That's how we do it around here. And then there's that southern low goes out on Friday. And then another weak low on Sunday drops down into northern Alabama with snow in Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Maybe that's where it's going to be this winter. I don't know. And then that gets suppressed out to the south. So the weekend, unless there's some sort of last-minute complication, looks to be pretty quiet. And then another low diving southeastward into the Great Lakes and northeast with some colder air as we go into the week of December. What is that? Monday, December 8th, and beyond. So a lot happening. This run decided to make a storm around the 12th. With a low in Chesapeake Bay and then a low east of New Jersey and south of Long Island again. So it'll be another forecast headache if it's there. It may be there now, and maybe it won't be there when we do tomorrow's show. So a lot of at least we're not starved with a lack of winter systems and a non-winter, and we're not stuck with a non-winter pattern like we've saw often enough over the last several years. Things are happening, which is
Absolutely.
a lot different.
And our friend Dr. Judah Cohen, climatologist Dr. Judah Cohen, is saying in a recent blog that he says, my thinking, this is Dr. Cohen's thinking, is that the cold, the first week of December, is merely the appetizer. The main course, he said, will be in mid-December. His various interpretations of computer models is predicting that the most expansive region of most likely extreme cold on Earth will stretch from the Canadian plains to the U.S. East Coast in the third week of December. And, after hearing that, you say, well, what about snow, Dr. Cohen? What about snow? Well, that remains a wild card. As the weather systems produce, snow typically can't be predicted more than a few days in advance, but suffices to say that having cold air present is half the battle. And certainly it looks like we're going to have cold weather, at least through the first half of the month of December.
Do you have Briller Jeopardy tonight?
I do believe I do believe I do. I do. I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I saw that the other night. It cracked me up. It was The Wizard of Oz. Of the three of them, Bert Lahr as the lion, he, by far and away, always brings a big smile to my face. All right, so where are we? Let's.
Well, you've known my, like in TV Guide, if I had to write sort of the Mad Magazine version of TV Guide, the Wizard of Oz and the little description of what the Wizard of Oz is. A juvenile delinquent running around with three men in it, what appears to be a very questionable relationship. Murder an innocent old lady and steal her shoes.
The ruby slippers, of course. All right. So on Briller Jeopardy, we head to the end of our states with 24-hour record snowfall. And it's been a while since we've had that, but we have it tonight. So, Joe, the states tonight, leading off with the T's, Tennessee. States with 24-hour record snowfall. How much do you think they've seen in Tennessee?
Tennessee, I'll say 22.
Well, that's way below the amount. Now, this
Way
is,
below. Wow. Mike
well,
Waterhouse Bonsai threw up 30.
that's even still below. I'm going to tell you right now, this looks like it's at the summit of a mountain.
Well, it could be in eastern Tennessee.
Yeah,
There's a big mountain right in the middle of Chattanooga. It's beautiful, but it stands out like a sore thumb. Let's see. Johnny Sachs at 33.
still much too low, believe it or not.
Really? Wow. Well, Michael McGuire it says 40.
I'll tell you what, Mr. TRW's is right there. Right there. He's got double nickels, 55. That's still just a tad low, but that pretty much is the
This was a
story.
24-hour snowfall?
24-hour record snowfall.
Wow. It has to be on a mountaintop someplace.
Right, exactly.
All right. Well, Michael McGuire's now come back with 57.
Well, that's a tad too high. So
Okay.
if it's
So
not
Mike
55,
Waterhouse
then 57.
Bonsai's got 56.
There you go. 56.
Wow.
This is for Mount Iacante. Iacante. Mount Iacante in Tennessee,
Sounds
56 inches
sounds
in 24
Italian.
hours. It
Sounds
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Iacante.
It's got to be in eastern North Carolina. I bet you it's not that far from me. What's the spelling on it?
Iacante.
Incante. Incante. Mount Incante, Tennessee. Yeah, it's not that far from me. It's in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Sevier County, or Sevier, Sevier County. It's at 6,593 feet. It's the third highest peak in the national park, behind Kewohi, which formerly was known as Klingman's Dome, at 6,643, and Mount Guyot, which is at 6,621. And it's not that far from Gatlinburg. Okay, see, here's Bryson City. It's probably, because it's mostly back roads for me to get there. I'm going to say, let's see. Okay, Bryson City, North Carolina. I'm looking at the map. Takes us an hour and a half to my house. It's probably about a little over 2 hours from me. Oh, I have to look at this. It's right near Pigeon Forge.
I'd like to know who was there to measure almost 5 feet of snow.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Well,
Okay.
our number two is another T, Texas.
Texas. Well, they've got in Northwest Texas. They've got some big snows from time to time. I'll say 25.
You're almost there, Joe. Just a tad below the amount. But
Well, Harold Olson says 27, and Adam Lowe says 26.
Adam Lowe, going to give you our first bell ring of the night. There you go. 26, and that's in Hillsboro, Texas. Now we move down to Utah.
Oh, I mean, that's the snow capital of the U.S.
Yes.
I suppose I should go with a big number. Well, if we could do 50 inches and 50 plus inches in eastern Tennessee, I'll say 54.
And once again, you're almost right there, Joe.
Really?
Same country. Just a tad underneath the actual amount. In fact, it's one of your favorite.
Well, David Fuller says, well, now that you've given that away, a few people have said 55.
And it's double nickels, 55. And this is in Alta, Utah. 55 inches.
Wow.
Now, we move to the V's, Vermont.
Oh, Nice. Um,
I'm going to throw you a hint.
I'll
I'm going to
sort
just throw you a hint. Believe it or not, the 1 day 24-hour record in Vermont is less than the 1 day 24-hour record in Tennessee.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, that's good to know. I was going to go in the 40s, so I'll say
Okay.
44. I'll say 44.
44 is just a tad too high, Joe, but you were right there almost again.
Chuck Cardillo said 41. Frank
But Rich Rotmansky got it though, 42,
42.
and that's for Jay Peak.
J Peak. Okay, I know J Peak.
And here's the fifth and the final one tonight is also a V. It's Virginia.
Oh, well, I mean, the mountains in Western Virginia can get to quite a bit of snow, and especially in the higher peaks. Um, well, if they could do 55 in Eastern Tennessee, I'll say 48.
Well, that's not a bad guess. It's actually it is a bad guess. That's too high. That's
Too
too high.
high. Okay.
Yeah,
Johnny Sack says 41.
still a bit too high.
Okay. Carol DeCaris is 39.
Now it's a Jack Benny number, but no, still a bit on the high side.
High side. David Fuller down to 36.
That's it. 36, Round Hill, Virginia. 1 day total, 36 inches of snow.
Lovely.
Yes.
Just wonderful. Okay. Boy, that gives me hope if because I have Brasstown here at 5,000 feet, and I have Blood Mountain. 10 minutes on one side is Brasstown Bald, which is 5,000 feet, and about 10 minutes or so, 10 feet or so to my south is Blood Mountain, and that's 4,000 feet. So under the right setup, maybe I can get a 20 or 30-inch snowfall.
And you don't have a snowblower, do you?
I am perfectly content to sit here and just wait for it to melt.
Well, that sounds good to me.
Steve Lapointe pointing out, Joe, that it's time to ring the bell for 100 likes.
Yes, I do believe we did get 100 likes. I'm going to make the official. Let's see, 102. Yes, 102. Second night in a row we hit 100, and this time we actually have a bell that you can hear.
Yep. And on that note, we're going to say goodnight because the Giants are on, and I want to watch some of the game before I go to bed. And mainly because I'm rooting for New England because I have one player left in my fantasy team, and I need 12 points to finish the season at 10 and 4, 10 and 3, 10 and 3. So, and then go to the playoffs. I'll be the number 1 seed in my fantasy.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm very excited. So anyway, everybody have a great night, and we'll be back here tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. Enjoy. If you live where it's going to snow, enjoy it. If you're living where it's going to rain, well, enjoy that too. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one, folks.